All right. Hey, folks, it's Joey here. Just a few updates, and I'll talk about Roman Polanski's Macbeth. First off, I really apologize for the last couple weeks where the content has been pretty bare bones. Um, you know, it's just, like I said, my schedule is more consistent, but at the same time, it's limiting for my YouTube stuff. Uh, However, I intend to record a commentary track for Gareth Edwards' Godzilla in the near future, probably in the next couple of weeks, and not much else I have going with that. Hopefully, I'll have other reviews of things as I get items. For example, in October, La Dolce Vita is coming to the Criterion Collection, and I'm acquiring that for Blu-ray and a few other titles in the future. Also, I intend to acquire the Jacques Tati box set from Criterion during their 50% off sale, or hypothetically their 50% off sale on Barnes Noble in November. So I will hopefully have like reviews of each of those films. Also, with the October reviews, except for the first week in October, I'll be posting a like a horror or monster silent film review every week for Silent Film Saturday for that 3 week period. Don't expect me to do this often. I felt like I needed to give you guys something for sticking with the channel for so long, and also because of the radical change I made many moons back with in regards to how I schedule the posts for Silent Film Saturday, and the lack of content. So hopefully, that's going to be a bit interesting, because it's not going to be something I'm going to do all the time with these reviews, but this is something to experiment with, and we'll see how that works. And other than that, I don't have anything like this planned in the near future, the way my schedule looks. But, anything is possible, and I'll keep you guys updated. So, without further ado, let's check out Macbeth. This was Roman Polanski's 1971 film, obviously based off of the Shakespeare play of the same name. You all know the story. These two guys find out, about their futures. Macbeth finds out that he's going to be the King of Scotland. However, his friend Banquo is going to be the father of kings, and this leads to murder, treachery, all that sort of stuff, and madness, like in any Shakespearean tragedy. I've seen other adaptations of Macbeth, like last year at my school. They do like the National Theater screenings, and they had a screening of Kenneth Branagh in a production of Macbeth, which I thought was pretty good. And of course, there's the Japanese film Throne of Blood, directed by Akira Kurosawa and starring Toshiro Mifune, that was given a Blu-ray upgrade earlier this year. And I would have to say I recommend that title too. I probably won't review that one until I start getting back on the Akira Kurosawa vlogs, which I'll hopefully get back to doing soon. But beyond that, those are some of my experiences with Macbeth. Macbeth has always, for me, been a very fascinating play, and I think it's definitely one of Shakespeare's more accessible plays. I think it's very relatable. I think it's very timeless, themes and such. But anyway, on to the actual movie itself. I just learned recently that this was actually produced by Playboy, like Hugh Hefner and all that, because Hugh Hefner wanted to get into the movie business, and so he produced this. And I was watching a behind-the-scenes documentary on this Blu-ray, Toil and Trouble Making Macbeth, about the intriguing elements of having a movie produced by um, by Hugh Hefner, and it's so funny reading a Criterion booklet that says produced by Hugh Hefner. You know, like when they had like the cast and crew, it says produced by Hugh Hefner. You know, it's like that's so crazy to think about that. It's like thinking about how two Michael Bay movies, I think, are in the Criterion collection. But you know, stuff like that happens, and I've heard them justify the inclusions of those films in the past. So moving on, and I really dug this production. I just think it has this very cold feel about it in a way. You know, and what I found interesting about it was that I was thinking about Game of Thrones, which is the great HBO series based off of the George R. R. Martin books, and I was thinking that Macbeth really was like the predecessor for Game of Thrones. I think more than most other mediums, more than most other stories I can think of, at least, because it's really just a story about this guy's ambition for power, and he's killing other people, and then it ultimately, you know, defeats him. You know, and there's also, of course, the violence in this movie. There's blood and such, nudity. I love the design, the image of the castle. I think it's such an interesting image, and it's also the image for the main menu on the Criterion Blu-ray, which is kind of awesome. But now onto the performances, which is really, for me, one of the reasons why I watch this stuff are the performances. John Finch plays Macbeth here, and I think he does an excellent job. And Francesca Annis is Lady Macbeth. She's also good. What's interesting, though, is that usually with the story of Macbeth, they cast the parts for older actors or actresses. In this version, you know, they thought to themselves, you know, people could have became like kings or lords and ladies at young ages. So they decided to cast younger, and I think it's a really good decision on their part. You know, I just think they work really, really well. Martin Shaw as Banquo, he is also good in the movie, and I also love when Banquo appears. It's not just like he appears as a ghost. He appears like it makes me think of An American Werewolf in London, where the best friend keeps coming back, but he looks different because of like his corpse is like rotting. It kind of makes me think of that in a sense, and it makes it feel much more horrific and terrifying in that sense. I also love I like the cinematography in this movie. Like I said, it gives it a cold feel to it all, and not much else I can say about it except I really dig this movie, and you should check it out. But I would also recommend you check out Throne of Blood, which is also available through the Criterion Collection. Hopefully I'll see you guys later.